I'm going to be tasting a variety today called Casticeddah. And this is actually the second fig I've eaten off this tree. I did one of these videos already, and the issue was I didn't plug my microphone in, so it was completely silent. And I believe this one I got off Brian Melton, and that was in January. So you can see the fig in there. This plant has grown really well. There are a bunch more figs on it. They all have a unique sort of shape for a fig. It's got a little bit of a neck, and then it's kind of, yeah, you can see it right there. Very circular, red ostiole, and just a really heavy grower. This one is in a 5-gallon, and this is from a cutting this year. Obviously, this one with the stripes is not the same plant. This is the one next to it, but that's a big plant. It didn't grow as much tall as it put out multiple branches, so I will likely have some cuttings this year. But I did try one of these. I can't remember right now, but I think I remember it being very good. But we'll reach in here. This is a really big fig. This one is. The first one was not. So the skin on this is really nice. Still has a little bit of that neck, but it didn't split. We've been getting a lot of rain lately. The skin on it's very soft. The skin might be softer because of the amount of moisture we've been getting. But I'm actually going to take this one and weigh this one, because this is one of the bigger ones I've had. One of the bigger main crop I've had. I know this isn't a Breba, because I started it as a cutting, and that was coming from up there. The cutting wasn't that big that would have been from the same spot. Yeah, so that was up there. That's at least 12 inches off the ground. So yeah, that's all new growth. It's new growth that I started in January. So sometimes starting plants in January, one of the bonuses is you can get main crop figs from plants you wouldn't get main crop figs from if I started them in April or May. So it gives you a little bit of an advantage. You get to taste more of them the first year I grow them, which is nice. But it's actually looking very pretty out today. One of the first days in the last couple weeks that we haven't had a storm, or at least the last week. We've been having storms almost every day around here. That's why it's very, very green and very vibrant. But it's difficult to do some of this stuff when it's raining. And it's difficult on some of these figs. Some of them handle it pretty well. This seems to actually have handled it pretty well. It does seem to have an open eye. Casticeddah. But even with the open eye, it didn't crack or split. I'll show you one of these over here that I'm having issues with splitting. Figway Juan. Also an interesting fig here, and I will probably do a video of those later, but these ones are tending to spoil more than average and split with all the rain we've been having. But there are a lot of them, and it's a vigorous, it's not a big grower, it's more of a big fruiter. So anyway, back to this one, Casticeddah. I will go check out the weight, and then I'll cut it open. This one is large enough today that I'm going to give it a weight on the scale to see what it weighs. And I'm guessing, I'm going to guess 78 grams and see how close I am. Ooh, 83.5. That's the biggest main crop I've had so far this year by a good bit. That is a big fig. 83. Awesome. Okay, and I have cut it open and looked inside. And it is a large fig, and it has a pretty nice pool of honey in there. It's got some ants on it, just from where I laid it down on the table. But that's a lot of honey in there. And I remember the other time I tried this one, that it was way better than I expected. Looking at it with the kind of the big cavity, and just thinking it might have a little bit of a melony flavor, a little bit of a, peach or melon flavor, but we'll see. I'll taste it again this time, but I remember it being a really good one. Okay, so I'm going to try this big bite right here. I'm going to give this big bite a try right here. Let's see how it is. Very syrupy. The flavor is lighter than the last one I had. This one does have like a really, really ripe, I would say like a ripe honeydew melon flavor, and an incredible amount of liquid and juice in here. Very, very soft. Now we've had a lot of rain, so that's definitely part of it. But I think I remember the flavor being a little stronger last time, a little more of a concentrated honey flavor than this time. But that was a really good fig. Really good, light, refreshing taste. Yeah, I will definitely give these to the rest of my family here to try out. But that was it has a lot of syrup for the amount of fig it is. It's just pooling everywhere on it, and it is very big and filled. I wouldn't say it's watered down. I think it's more watered down than it will normally taste, but it has a relatively rich taste mixed in there. A couple ants in there. But yeah, Casticeddah, and it is an Italian variety, and just a very interesting grower. It has an interesting shape to the tree. It has an interesting shape to the fig. Yeah, and it's a honey fig, but it has a nice rich syrupy flavor to it. It is not just a simple sugar one, which are usually not my favorite, the simple sugar flavor of figs. But yeah, big fan of this one so far. And it's been such a vigorous grower to get a fig this size, an 85-gram fig, off of a tree that was a cutting a couple months ago. I can't complain about that for sure. All right, so I'm looking forward to having some more of these as those other ones ripen. This one and the last one I ate seem to be quite a bit ahead of the next batch of them, so I might not get these for another month or so. But when I do, there should be another 20 or so to ripen. That's Casticeddah.